don't consent.
Well, we're here. Normally we have a big introduction, but because we love you guys and we've been here before, Casey Catal, Brandon Kirks, the Kirks, welcome back. How are you both?
Hello.
I love how you guys know how to pronounce our names, like even with the accent, because people still botch our names. So
what do people say?
I get what do I get?
Well,
I get
the funny
Cassie.
thing is, Casey, even though her name is spelled clearly on all of her social media handles, almost every match graphic, her name is spelled incorrectly.
Really?
And I'm tagged in it.
And she's in the post that she's tagged in it. Yeah. And it's still incorrectly spelled.
Yeah,
that's
great.
insane.
Well, I feel like I've achieved something today now. I've got it all right. This is so cool. Obviously, before we chat, because obviously, like at the start, we love you guys. You are awesome. But we did see the tweet today as well, Casey, that it's 4 years today since your first ever match.
It is 4 years from my first match, 5 years since I started in the wrestling world. So
wow, congrats! I mean, that's a milestone. That is like, does it feel longer than 4 years?
Yes, it feels like 2 centuries, honestly. But it went by really quickly. Like I could still remember like the beginning of my career so vividly, but it's weird. It's weird.
Do you remember yours, Brandon?
What's that?
Do you remember your first match?
Unfortunately, I do. And it was atrocious. So I try not to think about it as much as I can.
Isn't everybody's first time bad? Like, that's just
actually pretty good. No, it was. But it was a tag match. It wasn't a singles match.
Mine was a tag match too, and it was still horrendous.
Sorry.
And luckily, as of recently, it's been taken off of YouTube, so it has been erased from history.
Well, this sucks. I was going to go and Google that on YouTube. That's right after this interview, but
and now you can't.
That's all ruined now. Ruined.
I've still got my matches on YouTube if you ever want to laugh. Like,
yes.
If you ever want to see me from 12 years ago, nearly 13 years ago, then it's still on YouTube.
I would like to see that.
You'd probably die of laughter, but I might send it to you at some point.
Yes, please.
Isn't it weird thinking about that time? Like, I started in 2011, and that just feels like an eternity ago.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, because it was an eternity ago.
Because we're all old, is what I'm hearing.
We are.
Right.
We are. I mean, I'm pushing 40, and I don't know what you guys are, but...
Brandon, are you even 30 yet?
No, I just turned 28 in April, and she just.
So you're still young. So. You can't. Yeah, you're not in this conversation because we're old.
Yeah.
No. I'm old. You three aren't. There's a big difference.
Only compared to you, though. So that's not really.
I'm on the road to 38, so I'm very old. But...
You're as old as WrestleMania.
I'm as old as WrestleMania. That is true. Hey, speaking of Mania, Tony Deppin's Beer House. I've got to ask you, Brandon.
Yes.
Simon Grin, Simon Gotch. What was it like working with him?
Stiff.
Really?
Which I anticipated. He's probably one of the toughest guys. Like, he's very deceptively strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I knew that he was, he was a tough guy. And then, like, as soon as I got in there, like, the shit that he was doing to me, I'm like, he can do whatever he wants with me whenever he wants.
Wow.
It's crazy. And it's like a very weird experience, like an outer body experience almost. I'm like, this is strange. Like, you could just feel it in the way his body moves, that he could just do whatever.
Wow. Okay.
He was that ridiculous. But
wow.
Because you had a little bit of a beef with him on Twitter leading up to that, didn't you? I mean, what was that all about?
I mean, him and I are friends, but like, it's very easy to get a rise out of him. So I just love poking his buttons, especially on Twitter, just to piss him off a little bit.
It seems like you did that pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Always fun.
I mean, I've got to ask you as well. It's obviously he was part of Beer House. I mean, what's it like? Obviously being around Tony Deppen as well, because I think he's a guy who is so super talented.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best, and I'm glad that he's finally getting this his chance to shine in Ring of Honor.
Mm.
I'm hoping that he can get on some sort of national television at some point because he deserves it, and he's been so underrated for so long. I remember seeing Devin for the first time like 6 or 7 years ago wrestling at H2O in a warehouse in front of 10 people, and I'm like, this dude is so good. Why is he not everywhere? And then he started getting everywhere. I was like, this is great. Like, you know, he was always been really good.
Yeah, he's great. And he came out with a cake for my birthday and danced with it a little bit. So like I have that in my memory. So we're good.
What a guy.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Shoved into my face at the end, but it wasn't from him, so it's okay.
Oh, that's something else we had to discuss, Jimmy. You reminded us earlier.
Did you guys notice that I broke my nose at Beer House also? Did you see my tweets about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, well, I broke my own nose.
Yeah.
Because
why would you do that?
Another thing I didn't realize about Gotch was how flexible he is. So I went to hook him Regalplex, and when I hooked his leg, I just kneed myself with his leg right in my nose, shattered my nose. I'm gushing blood. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this was the last minute of the match. I'm like, I broke my nose, I broke my own nose. Like,
and then Simon comes to the back and he's like, Casey, hey, I broke your husband's nose. Can you clean him up? I was like, great, thank you.
His leg broke my nose.
Yeah, he took credit for it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he called me out on Twitter and said he wanted to break my nose too. So.
Oh well.
Well, so can we see Simon Grimm versus Casey Cattell at some point?
Yes.
Is that, yeah.
I'm hoping that's what he put into the universe. We'll see.
Hell yeah, I'm down for that. Well, I've got to ask you though, because I've never broken my nose. I mean, what's it like when you're still obviously in the match and you're trying to breathe and stuff? It must be terrible.
Well, that was like maybe the second time I broke my nose.
Yeah, that was
the
second.
first time was like last year, and it was very minor. Like,
but he both his like nose breaks have been extremely minor, and like he can like you can't really tell too much. He can like breathe fine. Like
like I didn't have any trouble breathing or anything. It's just it's very jarring when it first happens. You get hit in the nose. You hear it's uncomfortable. You hear the cracking sound, and then you start bleeding. Your eyes start tearing and swelling up. You're like, oh shit! Like, and at that point, I was like, let's just get this over with, so I don't fuck it up any worse than it already is. But I was okay. I was just more scared of hurting myself more. You know?
Yeah.
My nose.
That's coming from a deathmatch wrestler.
Really. Yeah. Yeah. When I broke my nose, like my whole nose shattered. Like I needed to get a surgery the first time, but they couldn't even cut me open because they said my nose would collapse. So I had to get the bones actually fused back together. Jesus. And I still have issues with it. So eventually I'll have to get it like fixed again. But yeah, you got lucky.
Incredible. Yes. My brother's like it. My brother played rugby for years and years, and his nose is literally, it goes across his face. It's like it's permanently broken. I don't know how he puts up with it. I really don't. But it's I couldn't cope with it. I really couldn't. But yeah, Callum, you was going to mention something, not me. You know about
the old trash can incident. I think I was going to mention.
When you became a gift.
You went viral, didn't you?
The trash can lids you're talking about?
Yeah, the trash can lids. Yeah.
I have a permanent, nice little Harry Potter scar on my head.
That was 100% my idea.
Excuse me?
That was
that was my idea. And I'm gonna tell you because I'm taking.
No, it was
Brandon Kirk. Okay, you wanted the thing, but I thought of. Okay, so here's what happened because he's a liar. So we were calling the match, and I cut promos for ICW almost before every entire match. So like I was nervous. We had a full weekend. I was like, I don't want to cut like 6 promos. Like I don't want to cut a promo. So I was like, how about Akira just does something to me so I don't have to cut the promo? Because everyone's expecting it to happen. It would be funny if it didn't happen. And also I don't want to do it. So they were talking about it and they're like, well, what do we have? Like, what kind of weapons do we have? And he said, oh, just use the trash can lid. And then Akira said, let's use both of them and it'd be more funny. And so I guess it was a collaborative like idea, but I literally was like, do anything.
He was right. It was more funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? The camera angle really made it because it was zoomed in on her. And then
The timing was perfect. Yeah.
But like, he didn't wait. I was supposed to turn, and then he would get me like clean, but he didn't. So I was like halfway, like diagonal. So he just busted me open, and I was like, seriously? Like,
I gotta retweet that just to get it flowing.
no.
Yes, do it.
That's it. Get it going again.
I was sat at work. I was at my desk at work. I just happened to have a quick browse and stuff, and that just was the first thing that popped up, and I must have laughed for like 10 minutes straight.
It was so good.
I think I did tweet you, Casey, and apologise for me laughing so hard, but
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, the reception was so funny, and I wanted to be like, it was my idea, and everyone's laughing at me. And I was like, of course I go viral for like the dumbest thing ever, but whatever.
It's always the case, though, isn't it? It's always the dumb things that go viral. Never like.
It's like,
I
you
don't
exploded and you got set on fire.
She's like, I exploded. I did all this cool stuff, and of course, me getting hit with trash cans goes viral. Because it's funny. Because it's funny and it's great. That's what people want to see.
It was great. It was great. You became a GIF or whatever they're called GIFs, aren't they, Callum?
Don't, Jamie. You know they are, Jamie.
Is that? It was fantastic. It really was. But before we talk some more wrestling, I've got to ask you as well, because I've noticed on like your Twitter feed and stuff. This is it Dallas Mavericks? Is this? I'm presuming it's basketball.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And they're your team. Big fans.
Yeah, I've been a fan since I was a child, basically.
Yeah.
And then I introduced her to it, and then she became in love with it more than I did.
Oh,
So.
it's worse. Like, it's so bad, the amount of stuff that I have, and we just bought like more stuff today since we won the game yesterday. I was like, let's buy more stuff. And like my whole closet is just Mav stuff. It's sick.
Typical sports fan saying we won the game yesterday. I think you did very little with that, Casey. I think it was.
I did so much of that. Let me tell you, I was screaming so loud at the TV. The game was at like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And it's like midnight, and he's sleeping because he's like, I got to get up for work. And I'm just like, ah!
I can just imagine
like,
that.
Yeah. I get really into it. I'm like standing up, screaming at the TV, and he's asleep. So
Is that what you guys do when you watch like cricket and shit?
Cricket. Wow. Cricket.
That's
too far.
I must admit, I do that when I watch the football, soccer.
Hey, Jamie likes his cricket too.
I
You were telling me the other day all about cricket, so don't pretend you don't like it.
I love cricket. I got quite a sports repertoire myself. I used to play football. I used to play cricket. I used to box. I used to do MMA. I've got a repertoire of my own.
You look like a rugby player.
Yeah.
Playing rugby.
Yeah. Well, I tried rugby, but I wasn't. It wasn't for me. But my brother was quite a successful rugby player back over here in the UK. But he's fat and old now, so he doesn't play anymore. But
he's younger than
I just noticed I kept seeing all them tweets and stuff. I was like, oh, I'm asking about the Dallas Mavericks. I'm like, I don't know if it's basketball or baseball or what have you, but now I know it's basketball.
Did I ask you last time if you follow NHL?
I do a little bit, not as much as basketball or baseball. But
who's the team that you kind of follow then?
The Rangers. As much
Rangers.
as I try and follow up on them because we're from Jersey, New York, so I'm a Mets fan for baseball and Rangers.
But New Jersey has a team.
Oh yeah, they do.
So, wouldn't that be better?
I'm from New York.
No.
At least as well. I mean, when does the basketball season run from? What is it? How many months?
It's usually from what December till like
Coco.
June or July.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Me and Callum are going to be in Texas for WrestleMania next year.
Yeah.
So
Let's go to a game.
Let's go to a game.
Let's go to a game.
Like seriously, I've never been to a basketball game in my life.
And they'll get to watch Luca.
do they even have basketball?
Yeah, I've seen. We've got a team called the Hull Wasps, and they're terrible.
Yeah.
I saw them play about 10 years ago, and they were absolute garbage. And all I know is that I was sat at, what do you call it? It's not ringside.
Courtside? Courtside?
The actual thing, the
Courtside,
playoff.
Callum.
Yeah,
Courtside.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And there was loads of people chanting defense, and I had no idea what that meant. So I chanted it still, and I had no idea what happened. I just know we lost quite badly, so I didn't stick with it. But
There's a different caliber of basketball. I mean, in the US, you guys are actually really, really, really good at it. We're not. It's
Yeah, but I feel like all of our like really good players are European players.
Oh, really?
Our whole team is
our best-
European.
Our best player is from Slovenia, and our second best player is from Latvia. So
Oh, okay.
okay, that's kind of broken the illusion a bit.
Yeah.
It's very strange. It's weird.
Well, if there is a game next, April, then we'll gladly go to a game if you guys are up for it. We're going to be there. Callum's already booked the hotel, so we're definitely coming. So it's happening.
Yeah.
So we will be there. But
Did that run your bank account dry? How much you pay for that?
It will do. Well, we haven't thought that far ahead yet.
no.
Every time I've done Mania, I've just booked it and not thought about how I'm going to afford to live or eat or anything for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We're going to Disney again in October, and it's like
Nice.
a lot.
Just close your eyes and
we're
book
just
it.
like, all right, we're booking it. I'm not worried about it because you can pay it off up to like 30 days before you go.
There you go.
Mhm.
Perfect. That's future Brandon and Casey's problem. Yeah.
Exactly.
That was the issue with this time. I think I came home from work and Callum was like, "Oh, I've booked our hotel for WrestleMania next year." I'm like, "Oh, have you? Thank you." How much is that
You're
going to
welcome,
cost me?
Jamie.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that very much.
You're being
But,
sarcastic, but I don't know why.
Luckily, the hotel we've got, we don't have to pay until, is it 3 days before we go?
Yeah, but it's best to pay it way before then. I've learned that from experience.
Dallas hotels are like super nice and they're not that expensive. Like they're pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
It's going to be
We'll
about
be fine.
maybe $150 each for the hotel. So it's not.
Yeah. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. But we'll definitely be there and we'll definitely take a game in with you.
Yes.
But I know me and Callum were talking earlier as well, Casey, and a dream match that we want to see. So we know you're close to this person. Masa Slamovich.
That would be a hell of a fight.
So I've wrestled her one time at WWR, like the Women's Beyond show.
Yeah.
And there might be another match coming up soon with her. So
I hope so, because she's pretty badass too. We've spoken to her a couple of times, spoken to you a few times, and it seems like there's a very similar style. You might be two completely different people, but I think you're both very similar in the ring as well.
we're very similar people too. Yeah, we're both like just hot messes, like we're psychotic hot messes. But I love her, yeah, and it's coming soon. So
she's kind of blown up the last year, hasn't she? Since she got back from Japan, she's just been everywhere.
Yeah, she's doing great. She deserves it.
She is, when we spoke to her last time, it was the first time I'd spoken to her. Callum spoke to her the time before. There was a noticeable attitude change, wasn't there, Callum, as well? So.
Oh, yeah. She's much more confident than she was previously.
Oh, she's sassy. She is sassy now.
Yeah.
I dug it. It was cool. It was
and
cool.
I
liked the attitude. But we mentioned, obviously, as well, the trash can incident with Akira. And we're hoping to get him on soon. And I know, obviously, Brandon, you've worked Akira. I mean, what's it like working with him? 'Cause I think he's a guy who he's become on my radar this past year. I think he's a guy up and coming.
Oh yeah, for sure. I started I think one of the first early ICW No Holds Barred shows was like the first time I ever saw him. And I know he's been around for a little bit, but the first time I saw him I was like, this kid's like, he's got something. I don't know what it is, but he's got something. And then now he's really come into his own at this point, and like he's having some really good matches, and he's having some really great death matches. So he's definitely has a really bright future. He's really good. I loved working with him. I did rupture his eardrum, but
You did.
whoops.
Oops.
And shit happened. Hey, at least we can bring that up with him when we talk to him. And I wonder what he'll say about the whole trash can lid thing as well. It'd be,
He'll say it was his idea.
of course.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
motherfucker is not his
Well,
idea.
I'm wrestling his girlfriend in like 2 weeks, so I'm hoping to get a receipt in there.
Oh,
please
really?
do.
In
Please
what
do.
way? Or can you not tell us? Oh,
Well, no, but what am I gonna do? I think I should bring back the trash can lids.
Oh yeah.
As a resurgence.
what if it backfires and you just end up getting it around your head again, and you go
Honestly,
viral again?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you.
I'll be watching that.
Yeah, I know. You're not even. Oh yeah, you will be there. Never mind.
I'm on the show.
You're not on that show.
Yes, I am.
You're not on the women's show. No, you're not.
Hey, Brandon, booking yourself on a women's show, really?
That's how I get canceled.
Yeah, it is.
And there was another guy I wanted to ask you about as well, Brandon, because we did speak to this guy, and he was such a nice guy and very intelligent. That's John Wayne Murdoch. And we spoke about him the other night on an interview. I forget who it was with now. And the person we were speaking to was telling us that he's not just a deathmatch wrestler. The guy is a very, very good, accomplished wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, have you found that working with John Wayne Murdoch as well?
Oh yeah, and like just not even like I would put him in like top 3 tier deathmatch wrestlers in the world right now. Like probably him, Nikki, Alex Colon, probably Takeda up there too. I would put him in that elite tier category. He is absolutely one of the best, and one of the best like people too.
He's
like
so
he's
nice.
such a wonderful person, and he's so nice to everybody. It's almost like, what is up with you? Why are you so nice to everybody? But he really is that nice. It's very refreshing to be around somebody like him and have someone like him in a locker room.
I can only imagine, especially, he must be a bit of a locker room leader for the places he goes in,
Yeah.
And he's so like involved, and even when I manage him and we got to work with him, like he wanted me so involved and was like just so cool. And not a lot of guys will go out of their way to involve like the manager or the women in the match. So it's really cool.
Well, that's good. And actually, you mentioned him, Alex Colon, Brandon. I spoke to him a couple of months ago, and he was somebody who was singing your praises when he was going through deathmatch wrestlers. He was saying there's so many people on the deathmatch scene who can actually wrestle as well, and your name came up. And he had very positive things to say about yourself. So, because I think Alex is amazing.
Oh yeah, I love that Alex too. Him and I are very good friends, but he never puts me over.
Oh, he did.
He's a grumpy old man that just hates everything. But then, well, I appreciate that. Nice.
Yeah, very positive things. I mean, it wasn't just you, Brandon. I'm not going to say we just spoke about you for an hour, but you did come up. So
He'll take it.
I'll have to text him and tell him. Just be like, I never said that. What are you talking about?
yeah, he'll say, just tell him if he denies it, just watch the interview because it's right there.
Yeah, I was obviously. I know you guys have got places to go, so we won't keep you much longer. But obviously, we mentioned Tony Deppen earlier. I mean, is there a goal? I mean, is Ring of Honor somewhere you'd like to compete? I mean, I'd love to see you and Tony Deppen with obviously Casey by your side.
Well, I'd like to see Casey doing the Women of Honor.
Women of Honor.
Well,
that was what I was going to say next.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah, I mean, Ring of Honor ever since I was a kid was definitely a goal. Like I would love to go in Ring. There's so many great wrestlers in Ring of Honor, and and I would like for her, like she doesn't have to be with me. Like I would like for her to do the Women of Honor thing too. Like she can absolutely hold her own.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Then let her make a name for herself there.
But,
Yeah.
Thanks for the
rub,
rub, kid.
I don't hold your own like try to say something nice and
Well, I'm a woman.
Sorry, we kind of threw you under the bus there, Brandon. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, women of honor is it's starting up again. There's some incredible women there. Casey would be perfect there. Absolutely, I think it'd be fantastic.
She'd be okay.
I'd be like passable.
Passable. Yeah,
She'd
the
be
world's okayest wrestler.
Yeah, like I swear I'm turning into Dan Barry because that's what literally he calls himself. Like he's so like self-deprecating, and I always do this to myself, and I'm like, I'm turning into freaking Dan Barry.
There's just a healthy coping mechanism.
It's like being just bitter and just miserable all the time, right?
Oh wow, there's world's okayest wrestler T-shirts on Etsy.
Ooh.
And on Redbubble. Who's selling these?
I don't know.
That's definitely a fake.
That's some random.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 4 different designs for world's okayest wrestler.
Oh, I'm just trash, so that's what we go with.
Yeah,
Bring trash to ROH.
Yeah, bring some trash to ROH. I think it's way too clean at the moment with that pure division. I think it needs a bit of trash in both divisions.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get you and Tony Depp in for the TV title or something, and Casey, I'm pretty sure Ring of Honor Women's World Championship could be, in your sights. That's something I'd like to see. So,
and a goal of mine since what? Well, you're 2006.
Why'd you look at it like you had a watch?
Yeah, so it says on here
all the time. I do it all the time.
2006, like I wouldn't even have to get signed to AEW, WWE, or whatever. Like I could retire if I got to wrestle Homicide in a Ring of Honor ring.
Yeah,
right.
I'm good.
Wrestled Homicide like 5 times.
I've wrestled Homicide 5 times, but if I got to wrestle Homicide in a singles match in a Ring of Honor ring in front of people, that I wouldn't have to do. I wouldn't have to do anything anymore ever.
Same.
Hell yeah.
Well, Homicide was the most over wrestler in the world in 2006. I don't care what anybody says about what was on TV with nothing. Like Homicide was the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. We spoke to Sledge earlier from Ring of Honor, and he was saying basically the same. Now Homicide's back, it's kind of changed the landscape of Ring of Honor because he's an icon, an indie wrestling legend. Before he went to TNA, he was already a legend in the indie, and the work he did in TNA was great too. But now he's back in Ring of Honor. He's brought so much back to the company. It's like a bit of nostalgia as well from that early 2000s, mid 2000s wrestling, and I love it.
It's some like already established star power that they have desperately needed for.
Absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
Because the roster is amazing. There's so many talented people, but that like you said, the name value. He's somebody that everybody knows. If you're into wrestling, you probably know Homicide.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I do know as well, obviously you mentioned the TV title, which I would love to see Brandon go for. But we all know Danhausen's got his eye on that as well. So I mean, you'd maybe have to go for Danhausen as well, Brandon.
I think so.
Are you up for the challenge, Brandon?
I'm not a big enough celebrity for him to acknowledge me, though.
Oh, this is true.
But he acknowledges the A-list tier celebrities.
Brandon, you've been on Ringsiders twice now. You're pretty much an A-list.
Conan O'Brien. So
Conan, Ringsiders, same thing really. But
we're on a similar level, aren't we, to Conan?
Yeah, we're both interviewers. We're both on YouTube.
You're both people.
We're both people. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
His name begins with a C, so does mine.
Conan's ginger. I am.
There we go. There's so many similarities. So yeah, maybe you are famous enough now.
I guess so.
There you go. The only difference is Conan's very good. We're okay, but it's.
I wouldn't go that far.
Nah, I put us over a lot then, didn't I?
You did.
Okay. Right. Honestly, guys, right? I know obviously you've got things to do, so we won't keep you much longer because, I mean, I could talk forever because we love you guys, like we said, but we're going to get you both back on at some point, don't you? Because we want to keep this as a rolling thing.
Oh, yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Please come back on. But obviously, as always, tell everyone where they can find you guys.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, I think of my handles. Just a second.
Yeah, I think I'm just Kyle Casey now, _ on Twitter and not _ on Instagram. I have an OnlyFans account, so go follow that. And I have a Patreon. The links are in my social media handles. What do you have?
Twitter.
You're the real Kirk.
At the real.
How do I know you're?
Yeah. And Instagram at the real _ Brandon Kirk.
Even though I don't follow you on Twitter. This Twitter sucks. I unfollowed him.
You don't follow Brandon on Twitter?
He doesn't.
Wow.
Legit. Shoot.
I can follow you, but I can then I mute you.
Wow.
Muted as well. Like,
Oh my God.
You say too many controversial curse words, and so I'm like,
When have I really? You think coming from my mouth? You think I said that you had too many curse words?
well, no. You say you're controversial on Twitter. I'm like, I haven't even gotten canceled yet, so I can't
you're
be
just
that
you're just
controversial.
annoying on Twitter.
You know,
Well,
that's
there's a
impressive.
difference.
You've not been cancelled yet.
I've got to be honest, and I think Callum will probably agree with me. I love following Brandon on Twitter.
Yeah, because he calls shit out daily.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
I hear it all day, so I don't need to read it. You know.
No, fair enough. But
True.
we
I get it.
love Brandon.
Yeah.
So I like reading his rants about people because I'm usually thinking the same thing. So,
Speak your mind.
yeah, speak your mind.
I don't have a filter, which is a detriment to me sometimes.
You do like in person. You don't on the internet, like most people.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
If I don't have to say it to your face, I can say it on Twitter.
Yeah, passive aggressively. The
There
best
we
way
go.
to do it. Yeah.
That's it. But guys, it's always a pleasure, and I'm sure we'll let you know when this goes out. Callum will do his wonderful editing skills. Yeah, you will.
I'm not going to tell him when it goes out. No.
You see what I've got to put up with as well, right? I have this every day and night as well. But it's, I can't thank you enough. Callum can't thank you enough. Casey, Brandon, thank you.
Thank you guys.
I'm excited for Dallas now.
Oh
I'm
yes.
super pumped.
Oh yes.
So glad.
Thank you guys for having us.
And
Thank you.